Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, audiences. Can you give me like a hello, a hi, or an I can hear you in the YouTube comments if you can hear me, and if you can't hear me, then don't say I can hear you, because that's misleading and it will lead to all sorts of shenanigans later on. I hope everyone is doing well and is relatively not too warm. Today, if you're watching from the UK landmass or any other landmass that might be having a bit of a summery time at the moment. Hello. Hey, I can. I'm going to take that. As a positive statement of you can hear me. Lovely. Welcome, everyone. Hi. I'm Jonas, Into Games community person, events person, and today we're doing another cheeky little event. Why not? It's Monday morning. Let's get your week started right with an event. This is the second one of this type of event that we're doing this year. So this is a type of event that we're calling Portfolio Live, because we're going to look at portfolios live. It's very literally named. It does what it says on the tin. And to look at these portfolios, what we do is we'll sort of pick a discipline. So we'll look at like art or audio or animation or something very specific. And then I won't review the portfolios because I'm not a trustworthy source of information like that. But you know who is. Joining me today doing a portfolio review in game design is Holly, who is going to jump on the stage now. Hello, Holly. How's
Hello.
it going?
Yes, good, thanks.
Nice. Thanks for joining us today. I hope this is a good start to the week. So Holly's gonna sort of join us to look at some portfolios. And the idea of these events are, so we've got a Discord, the Intergames Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, you should. It's a really nice place. I'm a little bit biased, but that's because I tried to make it a nice place. There's some URL down there for you if you don't already know about it. But the Discord is it's a space where we just encourage people to kind of ask questions about the games industry. Like, if you want a job in the games industry, if this is a place where you want to be working, it's where we can do like a lot of demystifying. It's where we can share lots of job postings where people can get feedback on the work that they are doing or have done. And yeah, to sort of support all of that, we've basically made a space where people can share their portfolios. And then when we come and do this event, I've given Holly access to this list of portfolios that people have shared, and Holly's agreed to kind of just take a look at them. And the idea being is that while the advice is going to be sort of inspired from the portfolios that we are looking at, the advice should be general enough that you should be able to go away and apply that advice to your portfolio, whoever you are, whatever your portfolio is trying to do in the world. So fingers crossed you can learn something impactful and meaningful today. Now, that said, Holly, let's talk a little bit about you. Holly, you are going to be talking a little bit about game design because you are yourself a game designer. So just a little bit about, what's your background? How have you got into what you do today? And then we'll start taking a look at some portfolios.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good. So yeah, my name's Holly. I've been in games design for 3 years. I came from Brunel University, so I was in Brunel for 3 years and did the game design BA there, which was fab. Really recommend that course. And then straight after university, I went to Supermassive Games, and I was just a junior designer there for 2.5 years. Don't have anything released yet. Hopefully next year. And then I moved to Lucid Games, who are in Liverpool, and I'm a designer there. I mainly do like systems design, so a lot of written work, a little bit of implementation stuff, working in the engine. But yeah, been in the industry now for about 3 years, so I'm still quite new. But I think it could be insightful for some people who are looking to join, because I've just joined myself.
Yeah, no, I definitely having people like closer to the front door is good, because obviously, you could have gotten to the industry 15 years ago, and then it's like, well, what was a game design portfolio like 15 years ago? Is that
Yeah.
helpful to anyone now? No, well, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for volunteering and sort of jumping in to look at some portfolios with us. Now, you've got a little selection of portfolios at the ready, is that right?
No, so I'm not prepared for this at all. But it's all in the Discord channel, right? So I've
Yeah.
just tagged design. I did have a look at some, but everyone's portfolio is really good. But I will
Okay,
give
fantastic.
general
But
feedback for the
you've
ones
got
that
the
are in.
library in front of you. You've got
Yes, yeah.
access to all those portfolios. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do is, when you're ready, would you like to reshare your screen, or your window, whatever you want to share, to this call, and then we can basically get going. Everyone in chat, so hopefully some of you will have already submitted your portfolios to the Discord already. There's a channel that's called Portfolio Reviews, and you just literally slap your portfolio in there, just tag it with the appropriate discipline. So like, if this were an art one, we'd say tag it with art, but this is a design one, so please, if you do upload your portfolio in there, please do tag it with design. Right, Holly, I'm going to bring you your screen
Cool.
there. I'm going to swap us around so that you end up being the face on the screen in a moment. Everyone, please give like a warm little sort of, I don't know, YouTube comment reception, applause. I don't know what the appropriate thing is, but please, everyone, just a warm welcome to Holly. And Holly, basically the floor is yours. And just shout if you need me to jump in with anything. I'll be here in spirit.
Cool. Thank you. Yes, like I said, I've looked through a few of the portfolios in here, but I will just pick some from random. I don't have two screens. I only have one screen. So if anyone says anything in chat, I'll just call Jonas at some point and we can go through the questions. But yeah, so I've got my portfolio up as well, so I will show that. Um, but so the advice I'll give is kind of general. I haven't been in the industry for very long, and I do like quite broad game design stuff. So all of the stuff here, like everyone wants to go into like a different area of design. So if someone wanted to go into like combat design specifically or like narrative design, I might not be the best person to give advice, but I can give general game design portfolio advice if that is helpful. But yeah, I'm just going to bring up my portfolio. Um, and when I was making this portfolio, I made it in university, and we kind of had a module where we could give our portfolio to a lecturer. And my first portfolio I don't have, but I should have kept it. And my lecturer was just like, "What is this? Like, it's quite bad." Because I'd center paged everything and I just chucked everything on one page because I was like, well, a recruiter's not going to have loads of time. So I'm just going to stick everything on one page and kind of hope for the best. But then after my uni lecturer was very, very honest with me, I redid my portfolio, and this is what I have now. So this is my portfolio that I finished university with. Um, and I'll just go over this front page very briefly. At the top of the page, I think it's really good to add like just a little description about yourself. You don't have to put how old you are like I have, but just something like where you've been. So I've been to university, what I achieved at uni, and then at the top I've just got a link to my CV and my projects. I don't think your portfolio needs to be super complicated or in depth, but it's really good to just have a place where your CV and your projects are separately. I always think it's a very good thing to have your CV on your website, but make sure to keep it updated. So the first thing I have on my portfolio is a show reel, and this is something that I picked up when I did an animation foundation degree just before university. And animators use this technique on their portfolios. So obviously, as game designers, we don't do a lot of animation, but this show reel is basically I won't play it, but it's just probably 10-second snippets of games that I've made. So I haven't updated this since uni, but it has like my dissertation in it, my solo project, some game jams that I did, and then right at the end it just talks about skills. And if you are going to do a show reel, which I think is something that's good to have if you have the time to do it and you have the video editing software, um, make sure it's not longer than I'd say a minute and a half. You don't want something really long on your portfolio, but I think it's good to it's definitely good to have some visual stuff there. And I'd recommend definitely doing this, popping it straight at the top. So like a recruiter could come along and just look at it and be like, okay, they've kind of understand what you can do within like a minute and a half if they don't have that much time. But I'm sure recruiters do take their time to look through your portfolios. Below that, I just have skills. So I just talk about some skills that I have. It'd be good to link these. So if, let's say, I've done some like AI design in this portfolio, I could link it there. So that's a suggestion I would give. And then just right at the top, I've got really recent things that I've done. So like I participated in the Global Game Jam, so I've put that here. Underneath, I was in the Brackies Jam, so I've put that, and then just featured work at the bottom. So I'm trying to show that I keep up to date with my game design skills. So I participate in game jams, and then at the bottom, I'm just showing that, yeah, this is the best work I've created so far. So I've got like my dissertation project and some game jams and stuff like that at the bottom. But yeah, enough about me. Let's actually look now at some portfolios. So there's some things that are really recent. I'm just going to pick a random one, and I won't go for the top ones, even though you guys will be here. I will get to them. I'm going to go with Angel. Hopefully this shows my screen properly. Okay, cool. So Angelus Mako, I'm sorry if I say your name wrong, by the way. Indie game designer, that's cool. I like that you've put like a little description at the top. I always think that's really good. I think if you just jump in with like a game or something, that is a way to do it. But I think it makes the portfolio a little bit more personal if at the top you're just like, hi, this is who I am, this is what I do. It's a little paragraph about yourself. Dungeon Rampage. I think it's really good using GIFs on your portfolio. Videos sometimes might not play, GIFs sometimes might not render. So having something it might not look as good, but something that's a little bit lower render will play for people who don't have like that great equipment. Some people like in some companies might not have the best tech if they're just viewing portfolios and stuff, or if they're just doing like written work. I'm gonna have a look at this actually. Creative director, that's cool. My work in detail. Okay, yeah, I like that you've got the visual up here. Oh, so this is on some PC company. Okay, so you've got a little blurb of your game, which is really good. And you've got some screenshots and you've got a video, which is really cool. And that all works. Okay, so this is what I like about. So I've looked at a few of these portfolios just before I joined, and I think this is really great. So on a project page, I think right at the top or somewhere near the top, you should say, "This is what I've worked on." So even if you worked in a team, the recruiter will know that you yourself worked on something. So um, Angela's worked on the analysis of the whole game and the mechanics and things like that. So now if I'm hiring them, I know that they know they've had experience with like economy balancing and things like that and everything they've written down in this list, which I think is great. Okay, so they've got some design analysis here too. Yeah, so they've stated here that they've done some analysis and then they've showed it here. So I always think it's good that if you're saying I did this in this project, then you follow up on it. So it's great that you've done that. Little design. Yeah, that's really cool. Based on biomes, realistic images. So I'm guessing that in this level design that you created, if I don't know if you're in a team, that might be something good to add the way through. So if you're in a team, you could mention that you use the artist assets, or did you use them from the store? Like it'd be good to know if you worked in a team here. So it'd be good if you could put that on your page. And then I think it's a good thing to add the props because you did the level design, but it might be a little bit unnecessary showing the props because you didn't make them. But you could link it somewhere. So if you have a friend who has a portfolio who made these assets, you could link it to that. Um, Otherwise, recruiters might see this and be like, "Oh, they can do art too, and they can make assets." So it might be a little bit misleading. Um, but yeah, this is cool. 2 types dungeons, all bosses gameplay. Okay, so that's cool. You've got a video to show that. You might want to add a little bit of a higher res image here because I can't really make it out. Um, Procedurally generated, that's quite cool. Yeah, this is a good project page. Um, with your layout as well for your page, I don't think you have to center align everything. Some people center align everything, but if there's like a gap like this, potentially you could move the text up so your eyes are looking at the image that you're on about and then reading the text at the same time. But I think this is a really good project page, and I like the design analysis bit and things like that. Um, Especially this bit, the what I worked on bit is the key bit to this page. So how do I go back now? Okay, so you can go up here to video games. I like that you've put these into different segments. So video games and board games and game jams. Even though game jams are, games, they're separate because I'm guessing that this is going to be like your personal projects. I'm just going to have a look at this one. Yeah, so you've got the what I worked on section again, which is awesome. So you did create the 3D models. So you might have made them in the other one, which is cool. But I didn't get that from your page. So, but maybe I didn't read the list properly. But if you just say at the top, I made these, then it would be cool. And maybe how you made them. So you could do some like sketches and stuff and how you got your concepts. Always show like work in progress if you can on your portfolios. So sometimes just showing the end product isn't what you want to do. You kind of want to show your process and how you work on it. So if you're doing like let's say sketching, for example, you'd want to show your lines first before you rub them out, sort of thing. Mining game like no other. What I worked on 3D models. Oh, there's nothing more to this page. Okay. So yeah, the first page, the Dungeon Rampage one was really good. If you've got any more to add to this page, that would be awesome because it sounds really cool. And I'd love to see, you said you've designed the characters and abilities. If you've got um, anything that you can show on that, it would be great. But the what I worked on section was good. I just think you'd need to follow that up with evidence like you did on Dungeon Rampage. Stick guards. Oh. I don't think it's working. Yeah. Your Stick Gods page isn't working, but I'll just move on. Okay, so if you don't have anything to showcase for board games in particular, if you've got something in the future, I think you can hide that from your portfolio for now. Because if it's a blank page, yes, not needed. You can just hide it. And then I don't know what this site is, but if it's like Wix or something, which is what I use, you can usually hide pages until you're ready to show them. And game jams. Okay, so it's probably your portfolio is still in construction. But if you go off this page, off your Dungeon Rampage page, um, this is a really good example of how you should keep this going, basically. So anything you list here, just make sure that you show it below. Okay, I am gonna move on. What I always like to do as well with contacts is make sure you email them or get a friend to email you and see if it pops up in your email, because it happened to me, but my lecturer said this to me. He always used to email people with their links on their portfolio and see if they'd respond, because I got one of my friends to do that with my portfolio and it went straight to my junk. So always check that, because you never know, a recruiter might message you using this link. They usually don't, but they might. So make sure your website links are working and it doesn't go into your junk. Yeah, cool. So this is a good progress portfolio. Keep up the good work on that. Okay, next portfolio. I'm gonna go with AJ's portfolio. Cool, very pretty. I like how it changes and there's all constellations. It's a very good looking portfolio. So you've got project/me, got about me here. So I think what would be good to add to this, so you've got your name and then all the different things that you can do. I think in this blank space here, I know that down here you've got the about me section, but I think if you move that up just so that straight away we get the sense and the vibe of like who you are and what you do and what you've been doing. So if you've been to university, if you are in the games industry, if you're working on like personal projects, you could put that up here potentially. That's just a suggestion. And then yeah, scrolling down, you could just have projects. It's a dungeon explorer, this person. Okay, so these are quite cool. It would be a good thing to add here, like just underneath potentially, because you've got these little spaces. If it was a solo project, if it was a team project, and potentially what platform it was on. So if there's a company who work in, let's say, UE5, so they work in Unreal, if you've got underneath, let's say, Prison Escape, that's a UE5 game, they might be more interested in looking in that project instead of just searching through all of them to see what they were made in and stuff. Or if there's a company that wants to know you if you worked in a team or anything, then under here you could be like team project UE5. So they'd want to know something about Dungeon Explorer because you worked in a team. But I think this looks really, really good. I like how you've done it. The thumbnails are a little bit small, and maybe you could square them out so you can see the corners a little bit more. But I think like the top bit is really cool. And I like how you've got socials down here. I'd make sure that all these buttons work. I'm not going to click on them. I'm going to click on Dungeon Explorer. I'm just going to plug my headset in because it's telling me it's low battery. If I can find my USB-C. Sorry, excuse me for a sec. Oh, it's fine, I'll find it in a bit. Oh, okay. So Dungeon Explorer. Oh, I really like this actually, that you've put the time scale on the side. So I think that's something I haven't done in my portfolio, but I think that's quite good, showing the time frame that you made it in. So someone knows that like this didn't take you 4 years to make. This took you 8 months, which is really cool. Yeah, you've got UE5. So like I said, you could pop this on the card on your homepage. So just underneath where it says like the title of your game, if you say UE5 as well. Just so yeah, recruiters could see UE5. Yeah, I want to look at this project. First person. So it says your role was a game and level designer. I don't know if you were the only person who made this game or if you're in a team. That's something that's important to add. It might be on here. I just need to look for it. I like how you've got links to the documentation and links to the game. I'm going to click on that in a little bit. Yeah, this is cool. Skills I've learned. So I'm guessing that these are the things you worked on. So basic AI interfaces, UI materials, blueprints, bug finding. So I like how this video plays straight away as well. That's very cool. Okay, so you've got what did I learn? I learned the patrolling path. So I'm guessing like this is kind of what you worked on. Yeah, I like how you've written down your challenges. So that's something that almost I've been asked in like almost every interview is if something's pinpointed on my portfolio, was there a challenge that I faced and how did I overcome it? So this is really cool. I like how you've done. I had an issue with the checkpoint system and this is how I fixed it. That's great. That's more of like an interview thing, but you've written down what you'd say, so that's fab. Players can't move when respawned. Yeah, you've put the fixes in for that. Then, oh, okay, so you've got goals. So is this an ongoing project? I'm guessing if you've got goals for it. That might be a little bit confusing for recruiters. But yeah, I think this looks really good. And you've got like a little slideshow. Oh, the slideshow goes really fast. Oh, no, it's images going through. Okay, maybe what you'd want to do instead of having these as like single images, sorry, if these as images that flick through when you click on this, just have them like this, like a single image, so that if I'm a recruiter who wants to see this design like up close, then I can stop it and I can look at it up close. But you might have that in your documentation, which I'm going to click on next. Okay, so you've got the design document. Yeah, I think this is really cool. I think it's really important to upload design documents and stuff because, especially if you're going for a specific role like a systems designer, it's great to see how you would lay that out. And especially if you're coming from a place where you don't have any industry experience, it's always good to get like a sort of understanding of how someone's kind of mind works when they write stuff down. So yeah, I think this is really cool. It's great that you keep adding images. So that's something that with design documents I think is really important. If you don't have visual gaps between text, it becomes really hard for people to read them. So like this page might be quite hard for someone to read if they're reading over stuff. Some recruiters might not go this deep, but once you have been approved by like recruiters, sometimes your portfolio goes on to team members and then team members and your potential new boss will might have a look through stuff like this if they've got the time. I know I have in previous times. This is great. I think something like this should be on your main portfolio page. So like drawings and stuff like that, and how you got from like A to B. So how you got from this to like that. It's like it's really great to show and showing works in progress and how you've got from a drawing, yeah, to a 3D block out is really cool. But I wouldn't have hidden that in a GDD. I would have put that on my main page because yeah, recruiters and especially your teammates who could be your potential teammates, they'd love to see your workings and how you work on a project from start to finish. So yeah, this is really great. So you might be like a little bit worried about how much stuff to add to your project page, but I think, you know, you could add images. I think if you add more images than text, then you'd be fine. But if you add loads of text, you kind of want spaces, which would be the images. But yeah, this is a really cool project, and the video starting straight away I think is really great. Love that you've got this trailer. It looks awesome. What's this at the bottom? Is there more to this page? Oh, okay, this is a separate project. So that might be a little bit confusing down here is like the 1, 2, 3. Maybe put a little bit of texture which says like next project, previous project. I thought it was a continuation of the page. But yeah, Goblin Siege, cool. So 3 weeks, Unreal Engine. Still don't know if this was a team project or a solo project, but it looks really cool. Balancing enemies. Yeah, that's really cool. Again, really like that you've got documentation link, you've got a link to the game. This is a cool document. You might want to upload it in a bit of a higher res. It's cool that you're using Draw.io. That's what I use, stuff like that, and that's an industry tool. It's just good that you're using industry tools. But yeah, you could upload this as a higher res, or maybe instead of hiding it under a link, you could pop it at the bottom of your Goblin Siege page, like somewhere in here, or if you're using the if you're using these instead of just flicking through. Also, I think, am I on the right page? I think you've got the same images for your previous projects. So you want to make sure that you change these so that they are relevant to your project. But yeah, it's a cool page, and especially you've talked about what you worked on. So what did I learn? I'm guessing is your what I worked on. But that's really cool, and the challenges are cool as well. So yes, this is a really cool portfolio. You've got a link to your resume, which is awesome. I'm just going to click this portfolio button. Okay, so you've done quite a lot of stuff, which is really cool. So on your homepage, I'm guessing you've picked like your favorite ones, which is fair enough. Maybe what you could do with these, I know that you've, okay, they take a little bit to load on my screen. So you've got design level, development VR. So yeah, you could partition them like that. So things that you were a designer on are in this section, things that you were a level designer on are in this section, which is really cool. What you could do instead, which you don't have to because this is already cool, is you could say this was a game jam project, this was a personal project, this was a solo project, this was a team project up here. Or you could have different tags because I know that these are tagged. That would be something relevant to add, and maybe a little bit of text under each of them. I know they look really cool as like these cards, but yeah, or you could make the card and add a little bit more text on it. But yeah, this is really cool. This is a cool portfolio, and I hope that that's helped. Right, gonna go back to the Discord. Right, I'm just gonna find my headset because I'm scared that it's gonna turn off and that someone's gonna talk to me and I can't hear it. The one time I need a USB-C. Jonas, do you want to stall with me for a second while I just find a headset thing? Sorry.
Absolutely happy to.
Thank you.
There's really great advice in there so far, and I've enjoyed going through some of the portfolios with you. The two portfolios that you've looked at, the portfolio owners, the portfolioes, whatever terminology you want to use to describe them, both are in the YouTube comments. So the first portfolio that you looked at, Angel, I believe, Rushubi in the chat, sort of, just starts off by saying, that was me, that's my portfolio. And on one of the pages sort of clarifies that, yeah, that page is empty, haven't added the content. So basically just kind of echoing or just confirming what you thought there. But then ended by saying, thanks, Holly. Thanks very much. And with the latest one that you've just looked at, we've got Akshat in the chat as well. Who sort of, I think you were talking about the main page and just on maybe bringing that about me section up to the top. The response there was just you know, the feedback was keep that main page as clean as possible. You know, make it nice and simple and have it just be scroll down friendly. So I'm sure there's like meeting in the middle somewhere there. And yeah, just confirmations that some bits and bobs have been added as GIFs where appropriate. And yeah. Okay, cool. I understand. And as you were going, just sort of confirming that some things are new projects and some things where you were saying this would be good as a GIF. I think you were saying that there was a sketch to level design image that should be would work well if it was turned into a GIF, and it was. But I think it was just on the wrong page or something like that. Like it just looks like the GIF, the level design for Project 1 was actually on the page for Project 2 or something like that. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that's good filling for time, everyone.
I'm back now. Sorry.
You're back. Your webcam has decided it doesn't want to work anymore.
Oh no. Oh.
Which it's not the end of the world, because we're looking more at the portfolio and your mouse pointer as you talk.
Is it working now?
No. Tell StreamYard. Go into StreamYard and just, you know, everyone will just see the StreamYard setup is fine. But just turn your webcam on and off. Yeah. There you go. You're back in.
Back. Sorry.
Cool. Everyone getting a little bit of behind the scenes there.
Yeah.
And before you start, let me just quickly address this question from Liam Peachy. Why can't we see your portfolio in that channel? I will hopefully tell you if I turn the design tag off. Where are you, Liam Peachy? Have you posted recently or a long time ago? Or is it that you've probably posted in the channel called Portfolios? Oh, no. Yours is actually, for me, it's kind of right at the bottom. I can see it. Liam Peachy, level design portfolio, and your name is in green. So I think it could just be Discord being a bit of a silly.
Yeah, I can't see that one.
Maybe just Discord being a bit of a silly. Well, what I'll do is, just so you've got the option, but obviously you do have a lot of other portfolios to look at, is if you want, Liam, I've made sure that I've just put the portfolio in our chat. In fact, what I can do is to make it easy for you to find, Holly. But again, no pressure, because you're reviewing like 20,000 other things. Is I will just make sure it gets to you on Discord, so you'll get a Discord ping in a minute, just so you can find it. But in the meantime, just pick another one, because I'm faffing.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, sorry about that. I literally have so many USB-Cs, and like I couldn't find one. So annoying. And this headset like lasts for days, and now it decides to die, which is fab. Yeah,
Awful
cool.
timing.
Thanks for stalling. Right, I'm just gonna pick another random one. Let's have a look. This one looks really cool. I am gonna choose this one because it looks cool. That's another thing that I can give advice on. So your portfolio will always have sort of like a sharing icon, and yeah, you can make it look really cool, like Matthew has here. So he's put like this Curly Goblins thing. I did see, so there's a few in the Discord channel. So Discord is a bit weird sometimes about sharing image links, but it will also be the case on like LinkedIn. So you'll have to set up like kind of something like this. So just an image which represents your portfolio. So you might not want something like plain, like a plain background, or just like a little bit of text. You can just add some cool art if you've got some, but if you haven't, don't worry about it. But you can always like write your name on like a cool background and upload that as a sort of shareable image. You can usually do it on whatever website thing that you're using. I only really know Wix, but yeah. Okay, so Matthew Lake. So you got games, projects, devlogs, about me, resume. It's cool that you've linked your resume. That's cool. And you've got all your little social links. you want to make sure that these work. I won't click on them, but just advice. So I think it's really cool that right at the top you've got new devlog, because that makes me want to read it. And I think devlogs are a really great way to show that you are working on games consistently and that you're updating personal projects consistently. Because doing personal projects and doing them in your spare time shows recruiters and shows other game devs that you really enjoy it and you do it in your spare time, because if you didn't enjoy it, then you wouldn't do it in your spare time. So I am actually going to click on this first, and I'm going to click on read. So devlogs, so you've got the date at the top, which is cool. You've got a few, 2023, 2024. Okay, yeah, that's cool. You could have a spacer between these just to make them be differentiated. So development, so dual Eclipse. Are these all devlogs of the same game? That might be, so I can't read the chat, sorry if you are telling me, but yeah, it might be a good thing if you've got more than one devlog. So if you've got, let's say, 2 projects and they're kind of mixed in here, it might be a good thing to have them on like separate tabs. So if I wanted to read devlogs about dual Eclipse, I could click on that, and then if the Eclipse is a separate game, it'd be good to have that on like a separate like separate side or separate tab, anything like that, that would be good. So I'm just going to read your devlog. It's got the date on it. It'd be good to have the year as well, because obviously when this goes further back, it'd be great to see like when you wrote this. So cool. Has a new font. So I don't know anything about this game yet, so I'm not going to comment on that. But okay, cool. You've added stays. Some really cool images. They're a little bit grainy for some reason. I'm not sure if that's my PC. But yeah, that's great. Like devlogs are just writing like a tiny bit about your game and what you've updated. With a team of 38, wow. That's fab. That's really cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to your main page, which is games. So you got Dual Eclipse, which I'm guessing is coming out and it's on the Steam store. That's really cool. I like how this has like its own page, because projects and release titles I think should have separate spaces on your portfolio, because you're kind of showing that like I did this in like a big team, or I did this professionally or in an indie team, stuff like that. And then your projects are kind of like, even if you did work in teams, they're your own personal things. Like even if Matthew did this in his spare time, this is more of like a polished experience that yeah is on the Steam store. Your projects are more like your game jams and personal projects, which like they're not, you're probably not going to release them, but they're like kind of labors of love sort of thing. The Eclipse game jam, cool. So I like how you've put underneath that it's a game jam. Here it would be good to put if you were in a team for the game jam or if it was just you. I like how you've got the button to play the game. So I'm guessing it takes you like to itch or something to play it. Yeah, it does down the bottom, which is cool. I'm just going to go to read more. Yeah, cool. So you made it in Unity. You made it for the Dungeon Crawler Jam. That's really cool. Yeah, it'd be cool to see how many people were in your team. So I like this, that you were responsible for the full design of the project. Okay. You might want to make this, it's kind of like its own section. So you might want to make it so you have a section which is like what I did. I was responsible for the full design of this project. So you kind of want to show, you kind of want to scream it from the rooftops, really, like this is what I did. And yeah, I definitely say if you're in a team or not. But yeah, this looks really good. I think the visuals are really good. You can tell that it's a pixel art game, so you can tell that this hasn't been like scaled up and it has pixelated. Cool gameplay loop. That's cool. Okay, you've got combat design. So yeah, it is good that you said I responsible for the full design of the game, and then you've said like level design, combat design, and the core gameplay loops. That's like covering most of the design in a game. Okay, you did enemy AI too. I would list this all at the top, and on websites you can do like links to titles. So you could put what I worked on, core loop, combat design, enemy AI design, level design, and then you could click on the links and it could just take you to this section, which would be good instead of like scrolling down and be like, oh, you did this and you did that. Oh, cool. So you did a post-mortem, like a post-jam evaluation. That's quite cool. So here it's kind of like the previous portfolio where you're like, this is what went wrong. It'd be cool if you kind of, if you wrote back to this being like, obviously it's a game jam, so you're not like, I would do this now, because game jam games you don't really go back to. It'd be cool if you kind of answered these what went wrong kind of statements and was like, in my next game jam, I would probably do this. So that would be cool. What was scaling up the project look like? That's yeah, I like this bit. So if you did work on it more, what would it look like? So what you were talking about, yeah, what you enjoyed doing and things like that. I think that's quite cool. This connect thing down here, is that just for these buttons? Okay. This could be its own kind of little button where you could click to have a little contact me page. Or you could just get rid of this because these buttons kind of speak for themselves. Okay, so games, projects. I like how you've got the videos here. On the previous portfolio, the videos just played straight away, which is quite cool. But yeah, sometimes, especially like me, I don't have a very good PC, and a video playing straight away could just buffer the entire page. So it is good to have the option to not play a video straight away. It's always great on a portfolio, especially on a projects page like this, to have a play game button. So if you have a playable game, and if you're not linking it, then yeah, you need to link your game, because recruiters, not recruiters, but maybe team members who look at this who have the time to, they might want to play your game and experience it. Because if you're speaking about what you've made in that game and then you can actually show it by pressing a link and playing it, yeah, that would be really good. But also make sure that your links work. Okay, yeah, this looks really cool. I'm going to go through this quickly because I am aware of the time. Developed over 7 days. So this is a game jam. So here, right under here, you've got the Eclipse game jam. But then down here, you don't have that. You just have it underneath. So maybe it would be good to have here game jam in like big text as well, just to suit your format. Okay, personal project. I'm going to read more about this personal project. So I'm guessing this was just you if it's a personal project, but that would be good to state. Okay, she worked in it for a year. That's really cool. I like how you've got your design goals at the top. That's cool. Talks about stuff that you've done. Again, I think if you pop at the top, like what I worked on, and then listed it, and then if a recruiter is really interested in combat, then they could come to this section and just have a look at your combat if they didn't want to look at like your cover system and stuff. But yeah, GIFs are really good. I always recommend GIFs. And you can see this one is a little bit of a lower quality, which I think is fine for GIFs because it will play on any PC. But yeah, that's really cool. The post-project evaluations as well is a good thing. I haven't seen that before in a portfolio, so I really like it. Cool. I am going to move on to another one. One thing I will say about this portfolio, Matthew, is that I have zoomed out on it. So you might want to check the screen size. My screen size is 1920 by 1080. So I think mine's normal, but I am on a laptop. But yeah, I've had to zoom out for it, which is fine. I just wanted to let you know. Okay, next one. Let's have a look. Gonna go for Simon. Cool. Let's have a look. Homepage, resume, about me, game designer, and systems and gameplay. Okay, that's a cool little video. It's kind of like a show reel, but of yourself. I think that's nice. Oh, it's gonna buffer for me now. I won't play it. The systems and gameplay designer with a keen sense of narrative. That's cool. Please watch my video to know what I've been working on. It'd be great to put in this paragraph. If you're working in the industry, if you're a student, if you're just doing personal projects, if you're an indie designer, it'd be great to know, yeah, what you're doing. Because here, I don't really know, like, if you're in the industry, if you're not in the industry, if you have been in the industry, because I'm guessing if you're in this chat, you might not be in the industry, but like you might have been before. So it would be great to put that here. Read more about me. I'm gonna do that first. Cool, nice little blurb. Extra general info and hobbies. Yeah, I think it's great on a portfolio to show like your extra interests, because that might be a good conversation point. So in one of my interviews, so I used to play in a brass band, and I used to play the trumpet. And one of the interviewers were just like, "Oh, I play trombone," and like we spoke for it for like 20 minutes. So just putting something down in your like about me, just your other hobbies and stuff you enjoy, that could be a good conversation starter and could be a link between you and your recruiter. So that's really great. Um, and also, yeah, stating games that you've enjoyed. Like, I don't think a portfolio needs to be super, super formal where you're just like, look at my amazing games. It's kind of showing what you are like as a person as well. So I think this page is really great. I think everyone should have like an about me page. I'll go back to the homepage. Okay, some cool projects. And I like how they're on their own little slide. So you got a homepage, resume. Okay, that takes you to that. About me. It might be good to rename homepage to something like projects or something. If it's just your projects and kind of like a blurb of you at the top. So I'm just gonna have a dive into this one, Legend of Trunco. So that's cool. So you've put your timescale, you've put your team, and you've put your what engine you've used, tasks and roles, and you've also put what you've done on this on like the card as well. So that's really cool. It kind of tells you everything you need to know before reading more, which I like, because if someone doesn't have a lot of time to view it, then that's good. The video's cool as well, that you've put a video there. Just gonna go into read more. So I really like this on portfolios when you have a color scheme, and then you have either a bold font or like a color which stands out. So if I'm just like looking over this, I can see roguelite, acquire a section of abilities, gain permanent upgrades, systems designer, gameplay designer. Like without even reading that, I'm getting all of the buzzwords. And I think that's really great, especially if someone's looking through this quickly. You're just like, you're getting all the main bits straight away. A character prototype in. Okay, cool. You've got little videos, top down like angle. So yeah, that's cool. Like a little information image is good. Instead of just writing that down, you've actually explained it with a picture, which I'm always up for pictures and reading as little as I can. Yeah, really like these videos and how you've laid them out side by side. Prototype dash is cool. So you're a systems designer and a gameplay designer. You might want to pop on here that you learn to work with data tables. I'd pop here that you were also responsible for putting these into the game, so you were like implementing them. So when I do systems design, sometimes I write stuff, but then I'm not responsible to actually put them into the game. Like sometimes I hand that over to like a programmer. So it'll be good to add here that like you wrote the systems and you implemented the systems as well. So that wasn't like someone else's job. Because down here I'm reading that now that you put these functions in yourself, which is really good. You might want to make that more apparent at the top and on your card at the start as well. But yeah, videos are really good. GIFs are also good if videos don't work. Data table, like some of this stuff is literally industry standard stuff, like data tables are. Thought process, enemy spawning. So it's really great that you've, even though this might seem a lot to some people, like I'm reading through this and I'm seeing everything that Simon has done and how they've gone from concept to kind of realization. It'd be great to have, if you've got any sketches or anything like that, or anything that's hand drawn, like hand drawn paper design is still a thing if people want to put that on their portfolio. Some people don't like to, but I always think it's great to see people's workings. So this is great. I won't go much more into this portfolio because it looks really good. I don't think you need much advice from me. But if every page is like that page, then yeah, this looks great. And I'd say for people watching, this is great. Like add in the platform, how long it took, and your team, if you do have room to put your tasks. Otherwise, it should be the first thing when you click like open or read or anything for the portfolio page. For the project page, that should be at the top, I think. Yeah, I do realize that it's almost 6, so I'll stop talking. And I'll pass over to questions, if that's okay.
I was muted. Hello. Yeah, I think that's absolutely fine. Yeah, just sort of respecting the time. So we always give an hour for these events, and there's only so much we can get through. So just a really big note as well is, if you have submitted your portfolio review to the Discord and it's not been looked at today, firstly, sorry that that's happened, but with how much time there is, there are more portfolios than there are hours or in sort of minutes at these events. But hopefully you've heard something today, or you've seen some advice from another portfolio that you're like, oh, well, I haven't done that in my portfolio. I should figure out how to do that. Something that gives you a bit of impetus and a bit of momentum to go and revise your work and present it in a different way and present it strongly, you know what I mean? And yeah, like, thank you so much, Holly, for sort of taking that time and going through it. If your work hasn't been looked at today as well, then like it can stay in that channel, and we're going to do more portfolio reviews. We haven't got one booked in for design right now. I think I've only got one booked in for animation, but the idea is that we should be able to revisit various disciplines like throughout the year, come back and do another game discipline one in a couple of months, before the end of the year certainly, and then that's another opportunity for your portfolio to be looked at. So please do just work on your portfolio in the meantime. If you change your portfolio meaningfully, like, nothing stops you from resubmitting and sharing it in the Discord again. And also the Discord just constantly is alive, so there are other channels like the feedback forum, where you can always just ask for feedback on something specific, or you can use Ask the Community if you just want people's kind of opinion on a singular question. So please just use that Discord however you like, all the time. It's a living, breathing space. Now we've hit 6 o'clock, but just in case, I want to invite just anyone to ask any particular questions at this point. They can be specifically about the portfolios that we've looked at. They can be about portfolios in general. They can be about game design in general. Just anything that you've heard today from Holly. Feel free to slam a question in chat. But what I don't want to do is I won't keep you all hanging on for suspense for too long. If there are no questions, then I think we can quite happily say we bloody well done it, and pack up for a nice Monday evening. If you don't, I think I've said it a few times, I've said it earlier, but if you're not aware of the Intergames Discord and you've only just joined us halfway through the event, Intergames is a community UK based that basically tries to make the games industry as accessible as possible for everyone of all walks of life. We have a Discord community where we're basically constantly trying to demystify a lot of the industry, trying to provide a lot of career resource, and we're really just trying to help people understand how it is they get a job in this industry. What are the do's and don'ts? One of the things that comes out of a lot of conversations are like, there is no singular one way into the industry. Like, what works for 5 people won't work for 15 more, that sort of thing. We're really big advocates of game jams. And Holly, aren't you involved in a game jam? Do you want to talk about a little bit about that community and what you've got planned for later this month?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Yeah, so I run Devs That Jam, which is it's a little Discord channel where we run monthly game jams. They are the last weekend of every month, and they last for 36 hours, so they're not very long. But yeah, the theme is all community chosen, community suggested, and then we do like a little theme culling, kind of like Ludum Day, and you like select the themes that you like, and then yeah, you have 36 hours to make the game based on the theme, and then we have like a 2 or 3 day period where it's all community voted as well. So as long as you've submitted something, you can vote on it. And then yeah, we have like really small prizes. It's just me giving people Steam gift cards basically. But yeah, no, they're really fun. They're really great, and I think it's the 5th one this month. It runs on the 24th of August this month. And yeah, I set it up because I think game jams are such a great way to build your portfolio, because I've had friends be like, I don't have anything to put on my portfolio. What do I do? Like, I don't like my uni projects. And I'm like, do game jams. Game jams are so much fun. I think they can be quite stressful, but as long as you manage them properly and don't take them too seriously, like they are so much fun. I'd really recommend game jams. Yeah.
Yeah, get into games. We're a big fan of game jams. We know the power of them. We know that if you have someone who spent a year like sort of doing full-time education, but you had someone who just did a year of nothing but game jams, like that second person is going to have such a strong portfolio and such a strong offering, showing that they can work with not just teams but like different types of teams, very different size teams, different personalities, etc. And yeah, big fan of Devs That Jam. We in the if you join the Intergames Discord, we've got this little section called Find a Jam, and that's just where we try and highlight some of the game jams that we know are happening, that are generally quite small or accessible, or come from communities that are positively aligned with Intergames, including the lovely Devs That Jam. So if you do join the Intergames Discord server, you'll very quickly find all of those details, including the link to the itch.io, which will take you to the Discord, which will take you to the game jam, etc., etc. I think that's all we've got in terms of like I don't see any questions from there, but everyone who if you've been able to go through their portfolios and they've been in chat, has been sort of chatting along with us. So thanks everyone for sort of sitting down and chatting with us. Just as I was saying, there's no questions. There is one question. There are two questions. Oh my god, crazy. Holly, how are you doing for time? Are you okay
No, it's
to
fine.
answer a
Yeah,
few questions?
I don't have anything going on,
Right.
so yeah, I'm here.
I'll answer. Oh, let's get these questions out then. Oh, they're all coming in. They're all coming in. You guys just took like 30 seconds longer to type the question than I anticipated. Fine, I can bring them up on screen and let's get through them. XD asks or says, I have a slight fear of labeling myself as a technical designer instead of a system designer, even if I am a bit technical in my works. When would you know confidently that you can call yourself a technical designer?
So I think that's a good thing to point out. So I was a bit scared of that as well, especially when I hadn't got a job yet. So I was like, I don't know what design I kind of want to do. When you start as a junior at a company, usually you you can kind of get your feet on the ground first. So you can kind of yeah. Um, I'm just rambling now. You can kind of feel out what you're good at and stuff. But in your portfolio, I don't think there's any need for labels. Like you can say that I'm good at systems and I'm good at tech design, and then you can apply for both of these jobs. And then if you are more strongly towards wanting to be a junior technical designer, like looking at your portfolio, which I think is the last one I looked at, right? Like that looks great, and you're already using industry standard things like data tables and stuff like that. So I think for junior roles, I wouldn't be too worried about like putting labels next to it. I think as long as you just give it a go, just give tech design a go. If you enjoy it, do more of it, get more experience in it, and that will just shout for itself. And then yeah, apply for tech roles, because you'll never be a tech designer if you don't apply for them. So yeah, but I think yeah, like I said, your portfolio is good, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Beautiful stuff. Thank you for that one. I'll move on to the next question, which is quite an interesting one, I think, anyway. So Claudiu, sorry if I say that slightly incorrectly. Claudiu basically says, would it be too weird if I add some sort of tracking to the portfolio website so that I can see if recruiters actually look at my portfolio and how much time they spend on each page? So I guess some website providers may or may not provide this, but have you ever found any use in it? Have you heard of anyone using it? What do you think?
Yeah, I haven't heard of that before. Like I use Wix, and Wix tells me if I've had like different people clicking on it. So if like the same person comes back twice, they're not a unique visitor, but it tells me if I've had unique visitors and how long they're on there for. So like some websites do that. They won't tell you who, obviously, because that's kind of infringement of privacy. But yeah, probably wouldn't add your own tracking, but you can use websites that do that. But if you're worried that like recruiters aren't looking at your stuff, just have a dialogue with the recruiter. Just be like, if nothing's come back to you in 2 or 3 weeks, it's totally fine to hit someone up and just be like, hi, did you have a look over my stuff? Just wondering, would love to speak to you soon. Just something like that. Something short, sweet, and professional. That would be fine.
Nice. And then the last question from chat. If anyone submits a question after now, we'll bring the event to a close. But thank you very much for everyone for your interest. Lewis Cooper has asked or said, "Hi Holly, I'm a student making a portfolio. How many projects do you think is a good number to include? And do you think it's worth including smaller projects, like if you work on something like that's just a character or just a mechanic, something that isn't a whole game?"
Yeah, no, 100%. I think it's definitely worth adding stuff that you might not think is finished. But you don't need to upload like finished games. If you've just done like level design on something that you've never like fruitioned into a proper game, that's completely fine. Showing your workings and then saying why you didn't go through with it is actually a really good skill to show. So showing that you didn't have enough time, so you just wanted to make a level, or you didn't like where the project was going to stop doing it. That's very valid stuff to put on a portfolio. In terms of like how much stuff, that's completely up to you. Some people have let's say like 4 or 5 really polished things that they want to show. Other people like me, I have like every single game I've ever made on my portfolio. You might not see it from like the main page, but when you dive more into projects, I've put games on my portfolio which I made when I was like 13, and they're really bad. But I just like showing that I was making games at 13, and I was making my own little sprites and things like that. So I think that's a really good thing to put on, like if that's what you want to show. If you want to have more of a like laid back casual portfolio, then yeah, put stuff up that might be like a little bit unfinished and things like that, but showing your workings and things, yeah, that's a really good thing to add.
Nice. Thank you very much. I think that about does it. Thank you to the three of you for your questions. And again, one massive thank you to chat just for all of your engagement support. Holly, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your insights and your engagement. And thanks for spending some time with these portfolios and just sharing what you know, what you've experienced, and what you think could make these portfolios stronger. Before we go, Holly, obviously we did a little shout out for the game jam, but is there anything else? Is there anything else that you want to say or share or just verbalize before we go?
I don't think so, but I would just like to say, if I didn't look at your portfolio, sorry. But if anybody does want to reach out to me, like I'm on LinkedIn, I have quite a unique surname, so you can just find me. If you want to ask any questions, anything like that, my DMs are always open. I'm on Discord. I'm on the Discord server with Into Games. And yeah, if you do want to do any game jams in future, then yeah, join Devs That Jam. Do one every month.
Nice. Thank you
Thanks.
so much. I am just managing like 5,000 different tabs. We are next doing, I'm just thinking on what comes up next with Into Games. So if you're watching this live, just so you know, on Wednesday we're discipline deep dives is coming back, season 2. We left you on a thrilling cliffhanger last time, I'm sure, and everyone wants to know what's going to happen in season 2 of Discipline Deep Dive. So I can tell you that episode 1 is all about concept art, and it's looking at sort of the pipeline of getting your work from sort of concept to implementation and seeing it as a final product. That talk is going to be led by Paul Scott Canavan, who is just an incredible piece of talent, who has worked on like the literal Dungeons and Dragons, like the artwork that you get in the rule books, Magic the Gathering cards, Warhammer, Destiny. Paul's artwork is just seen everywhere you go, and you're very unlikely to be a nerdy person in 2024 who hasn't accidentally seen like a piece of artwork from Paul Scott Canavan. So really lucky to be having him joining us on Wednesday. So if you're interested in that, please do. All the details are in the Discord, yada yada yada. And I think we're doing another portfolio review just like this on the first Monday of September. So this has been the first Monday of August at 5 p.m. First Monday of September at 5 p.m. We've got Ross. Full name has blanked out of my head. Ross is doing animation reviews in, portfolio reviews in animation. And do I have his email address here? No, I don't. I've got the details in the Discord. You go take a look at the Discord. It's all there. I'm not going to pull thoughts at the top of my head. Right. That is it from me. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. You've all been delightful. The stream is just going to end any second now. So thanks for joining us, and see you all soon. We'll just wave at you until the stream ends, baby.